Hello, my friends. Welcome to that 1870s homestead. My name's Rachel, and I've needed to do this project for a long time now, and my potatoes are sprouting. Some of them really bad, like this. But I don't want to waste them. I don't want to lose them all. And we just haven't been eating that many potatoes, and as many as I grew, and I've given the kids quite a few bags, and we're gonna can them today. So first things, I gotta peel them, chop them, and I got a big basket to get through. So I'm gonna take my time, but I've done a potato canning video before, so I didn't think that I would necessarily redo that for the intentions on how to can potatoes. You can go watch that video. But I've not been well, and you guys have been praying for me, and I thank you for that. And I thought I would just give you a little update, and maybe we'll play a game of house together, because I'm a little bit of a quandary right now. And do you guys like house or medical mystery type shows? I love them. I never really got into Grey's Anatomy. It was a bit too much for me, but any hospital setting type, somebody comes in and they're sick and they diagnose them wrong the first time, and then they finally get it right in the end. And I just love those kinds of shows. So I thought it would be fun. I was actually going to do this video, the exact same video last week, and I ended up in the ER the day I wanted to do it. I was just like, I don't feel like it's not funny right now. And it's not necessarily funny right now, but I can at least find joy in the process of it all. So we're gonna play house together. So you guys get out your pens and your paper, and I'm going to share with you symptoms and tests that I've done and where we are now. And not that I'm going to take anything that you say as Dr. Gospel or anything like that. I'm definitely seeking proper medical evaluations. But if you have fun with it like I do, then we'll have fun together. Okay, so I'm going to tell it to you like I told it to my doctor in the ER. How far back should I go? And they said, go back as far as you think you need to. So I'll go back to November. I went to Chicago with my girlfriends just for a weekend shopping trip. And I don't remember what day it was, whether it was Friday night or Saturday night. I had really strong heart palpitations. And I've had a heart palpitation here or there in my life, so I knew what it was, you know. But these were really taking my breath away. And thankfully when it happened, it was like towards the end of the evening, so we just went back to the hotel and went to sleep. And over that next week, they didn't relent. It was, if anything, it was getting worse, and, you know, like numb, everything that in hindsight, probably I should have went to the doctor then. But, you know, the numbing of the arm, the, you know, jaw pain, cold, really ice cold sensations in my extremities. And then just like take your breath away, heart palpitations, where it felt like, you know, your heart's boom out of your chest. And that lasted for like a week or so. And there was one day specifically during that week in November where Todd was at work and I almost carried myself to the emergency room. But something to know about me, I don't go to doctors unless I absolutely have to. So I kept telling myself it's probably just a pinched nerve or something, and it's going to get better. And So I nervous smile too. So when I'm nervous, I smile, and it's always at inappropriate moments. So don't take my smiles as she's not taking this seriously. That's not it. It's just a habit I have. So, I mean, November continues on, we get into the holiday festivities and stuff, and there's moments of that. Like Todd remembers we went to the cabin in November, and it happened then. Similar with the heart thing. And, but I just kept kind of laughing it off or whatever. It'll be fine. So then we get into, December's pretty normal, and get into the holidays and Christmas Eve. We had just had our Christmas with the kids. And Christmas Eve and Christmas Day were like a slow day for us. But Christmas Eve, I woke up and felt like I had slept on my knuckles on this side of my neck. So sore. Like whatever that muscle tendon thing is right there, but like inside and behind it. It wasn't my throat, it was my neck. And that progressed rapidly over that week, and that weekend was when Todd posted a video that I had went up north with my girlfriends, and I almost called and canceled because the pain was so bad, but I didn't want to cancel, so I went and just told him, I might be a little slow this weekend. And the pain, my neck ended up through my ear and down to here, like all the way to the nape of my neck, just on that one side. And got so bad that like ibuprofen wasn't even cutting the pain. I couldn't turn my head at night when I was sleeping, lying flat on my back. I would have to use my arms and my body to roll myself over. So odd, they don't necessarily go together, maybe not. And when I got home Sunday, I had started to develop a lump in my throat feeling, where I was like, is this strep throat? And it's just feeling differently, because I've had strep throat plenty of times in my life that I know what strep throat feels like. And I'm like, but it just felt so, neck muscly. And so now we're coming into the new year, and where was I? Oh, yeah, I got home Sunday. And I had started with really like a cough and congestion. Blowy nose, like runny nose. And then that lump in my throat. Monday, I woke up, had my first fever, and it was a low-grade fever, like 99, 100. I don't even think they count that as fevers these days anymore, but we did when we were growing up. And coughing much worse, lots of chest congestion. That progressed all through the week. The cough, the chest congestion. But by Tuesday morning, that lump in my throat was just gone. Just like it had never been there. I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. My fevers are getting worse each and every day. By Thursday, so that's the 4th, I think. Maybe the 2nd. I don't remember. I woke up and I had blisters all over my knuckles. Like at this point, I can't put anything together. It's all so random. I'm like, what the heck? Blisters on my knuckles now. And my fever spiked that day to 104. So at that point, Todd's like, listen, this has been going on too long. Now your skin's reacting. Your temperature's out of control. We need to go to urgent care. So we went to urgent care, and they said, you probably just have a virus and your body is presenting differently. And sent me home. So I was okay. And that's what I thought that they'd say. I'm like, this is my opinion half the time. And no offense to any of you that may be in the medical profession. It's just half the time I think it's going to be a waste of money. And they're going to either just offer me steroids, or they're going to say it's just a virus and there's nothing we can do. So you just got to kind of wait it out. So that ended up being the case, and I kind of gave Todd one of those looks like, I told you. And so that's Thursday, but Thursday night, my face starts getting inflamed. My neck is inflamed. I'm itching my ears nonstop. I'm itching my nose cavity, itching my eyes. I'm just like, nothing's presenting itself, but I am so irritated. And Friday morning, I woke up and it was like fire inside, burning inside out. And I had hives and like a rash, all face, neck, and my ears. If I could have ripped my ear canals from the inside out, I would have. My eyes, if I could have scratched my eyeballs out, I would have. It was just so much torment is the word I would use. I was in utter torment. And I told Todd I need to go to the ER. My body is attacking itself at this point, and they need to figure out what virus or infection this is that I have. Because I have experience in my family with my own son and with my mom. My mom died from sepsis, so I know what sepsis is and what it can do, and I was feeling like that, like I was going into septic shock or something like that. And so anyway, went to the ER. They kind of almost immediately asked if there was any autoimmune history in our family. I was like, no. And throughout that day, they did like a chest and neck CT. They ran a bunch of labs. And ultimately what came back was my white blood cell count was way low. So my white blood cells is what you need to fight infection. They weren't working. And excuse me, I figure out what else came back bad that day. I have it all written down. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Oh, this is the other one. The thing that came back really crazy high that day was my rheumatoid factors, which I knew nothing about. I only knew of like something called rheumatoid arthritis. I've heard that term before, but I'm like, I'm not achy and sore. Like nothing in my bones or joints hurt. And I'll tell you, so this is where you got to start writing it down if you want to play this game. So at the ER visit, my white blood cell count was low. It was 2.9, and 4,000 to 11,000 is normal. On my CBC, my band value was high, which I think can mean something around infection maybe, and your heart produces these neutrophil bands or something like that. I don't remember. I've done a lot of research trying to figure it out myself. And anyway, it's supposed to be less than 5%. Mine was 20%. And my rheumatoid factor is supposed to be less than 20 or none at all, and mine was 137. And I had trace white blood cells in my urine. So what is all that? They were certain that the white blood cell count, the rheumatoid factor, my presentation with rash and hives, I was having something autoimmune happening. They mentioned lupus, I don't know how many times. I was just like, I don't have lupus. I'm claiming that now. I don't. And it's just something I don't want to have. And I don't truly believed that's not what was going on. And I wasn't buying into the rheumatoid arthritis thing because just I don't have any presentation otherwise of that, like aches and pains and stiff joints or anything like that. So they asked me to follow up with a primary care doctor. So this will tell you guys how bad I am with doctors. I haven't had a primary care doctor since I was probably 23. And I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta find one. So I found one, and I believed it was God because I had called back when I was having those heart issues to try to get into one, and they couldn't see me till February. And I was like, well, it's just not worth it. And this doctor said, yep, I got an appointment this afternoon. This was the Monday after the ER visit, and got me in at 2 o'clock. I was like, well, that's cool. And anyway, went over everything with him. Again, he's thinking 100% it's an autoimmune reaction. Oh, and the ER had referred me to a dermatologist. I'm like, I'm not going to a dermatologist. This is not a dermatology issue. And so that doctor ordered a lot more panels. At this point, I'm still just itchy all over. I had a low-grade fever Sunday, still coughing. Oh, and by this point, I had developed Rigors, okay? So I've had Rigor-like responses in my body my whole life, but it's like once a month or something, once every other week, I'll get a Rigor, and this 40 times, 50 times a day Rigor responses. My body is not happy, and that itself is exhausting. And they were quite pronounced, where in the past it would just be a shoulder, chill. And these, like, my hands were flailing, my legs are flailing. So that was just exhausting. It's just a lot of energy at once that your body's producing. So he wants me to do a whole, he did a full exam, touched my belly, asked all the things. He really got stuck on whether or not I had taken any drugs. No, other than, so the ER did prescribe steroids and Valium to calm me down. The steroids I took through Sunday, but they were making me so jittery and shaky. I called the ER doctor and asked if I could stop them, and he said I could. So I stopped those. And, and allergy medicine. Like the ER provided me Claritin, but I ended up getting Allegra for hives, thinking that would be a better choice from an allergy medicine perspective. Other things that both the ER and my healthcare provider was trying to rule out was I having an allergic reaction to something? I'm like, and in the meantime, I'm still putting everything together, like the whole story and the history, not just the presentation of why I went to the ER with the hives and the rash and the painful itch. But I'm putting the whole story together that I've been sick for a while, and this is just now my body freaking out. And I was like, no. So for you guys doing your doctor house thing, no, nothing new, no new soaps, no new laundry detergents, no new foods, no new medicines, nothing like that. So the doctor, I'm not sure why he ordered it. I'm guessing it's from his physical exam. When he pushed on my belly, I guess where your liver is, I had a reaction. Kind of like a, I don't know if I went oop or made a sound, or I know my body kind of jumped a little bit, and that startled him. He said, "Why'd you do that?" I was like, "I don't know why I did that. I think I just don't like people pushing on my stomach." And so he ordered a liver panel, and he ordered a ton more autoimmune tests. He said the rheumatoid, at the ER, they ordered the ANA test, which is measures a lot of the major markers for autoimmune diseases, and that came back negative. So I immediately said, okay, there, good. I don't have anything autoimmune. But he said that alone doesn't rule out autoimmune. So he ordered a whole bunch more tests, and for autoimmune, and a liver panel, and a CBC again, because he wanted to see if my white blood cell counts were coming up again or anything like that. So now at this point, when those tests start coming in, we're like, what in the world? So my liver panel was not good. It showed that my ALT and AST, so your ASTs, I guess, can be produced by your heart and your liver, maybe even your lungs, where ALT is specific to the liver. And these are enzymes that your liver creates. And they're supposed to be, where am I, liver? They're supposed to be 0 to 41 or 0 to 31. And my AST was 667 and my ALT was 529. So just looking at those numbers, I'm not a doctor, but I'm like, I don't think that's good. And so he wasn't happy with those numbers when he saw them. I called, so I think this was, it took a while for those tests to come in because I had to fast. So I did the testing on Tuesday, and Wednesday the testing was coming in. Thursday I had a very bad hive reaction again. I'm still coughing through this whole time, still very just weak generally. Still very itchy all over, just pins and needles underneath my skin. And it takes a lot of energy to do anything. Like one of these days, I remember just brushing my teeth, having to hold on to the counter to brush my teeth. Just like getting dressed or getting ready during the day, just it's an effort and exhausting. So Thursday, I wake up feeling like maybe I feel okay. So we take down Christmas inside the house. And Thursday night, I had just a terrible hive reaction. Maybe Todd will put some pictures in here throughout this video, but all down my arms, my chest again, the top of one of my thighs. And I was just like, okay, I guess I can't do that much because my body's not ready. And I had made cookies for my daughter-in-law's baby shower. So I just had done a bit that day. And I had already planned to call my doctor Friday morning right away to let him know this had happened, because he said, if this happens again, call me, or if your fever spikes again, call me. And he called first thing Friday morning saying he was concerned about the liver panel, that he wanted to rerun that. And what else did he rerun? a couple more, like he was concerned about something maybe attacking my muscles and like a muscle disease of some kind, which wouldn't have been good. And this is just a primary doctor. He's been so nice. So he reran the liver panels, and he said, if your numbers don't come down, I need you to get to a hospital that can do more tests. And he was going to refer me up to U of M. I was like, oh, okay. Thank God my liver panels had started to come down. So my AST was, at this point, again, normal, 0 to 41, 0 to 31. My AST is 278, and my ALT is 529, so still kind of on the high side. So, house doctors out there, let me tell you the other things that came back negative while we're here. So, write this down. Procalcitonin is, I don't think it's too high, but it's supposed to be less than 0.05, and mine's 0.19, so it was noted as high. And I think that can have something to do with your heart. My complement profile C4 was high, not very high, but it was high. It's supposed to be 16 through 47 is the ranges, and mine was in the 50s, 53. And again, that can have some meaning around the heart or even autoimmune again. And my total CK should be 30 to 145, and mine was 22, so it was low. My white blood cell counts did improve over this time a little bit, but they're still very low. My white blood cell counts are now in the low 3,000s when 4,000 is supposed to be the lowest range. So the way my brain thinks is, okay, a lot of these things, I should tell you this. In summary, over 3 blood visits, I've had 32 different blood tests, and only 10 have come back with any kind of abnormal reading. They're the ones I've mentioned, like my CBC, the rheumatoid factor, the livers, the urine, and then the last few things I mentioned. Every autoimmune specific test has came back, I'm fine. So I'm so thankful about that. So I have to go back to the doctor on this week, Friday, to follow up. And I have my questions, but I want to know, what are your questions once you think about this? So my questions are, like they did full hepatitis panels, HIV blood work, thyroid blood work, all of that came back perfect. My question is, okay, what's next? Should we? So my daughter-in-law is a doctor of sorts, and she said I would be asking for an ultrasound of your liver. So should we ultrasound my liver? Should we do an EKC on my heart just to see, was that like a little heart attack back in November, and now my liver's just like flushing stuff out and responding to that? Do I have any damage to my heart that we need to be addressing? And other question was, she wants me to go see a rheumatologist. So at this point, maybe it's kind of out of a primary care doctor's level of expertise. Should I go to a rheumatologist for further interpretation of all of these results or more tests? Okay, and then no one likes to say the word, and I'm not saying that I have it, but a lot of these things do point to like a blood-related cancer. So is there any concern about that? I want to know, and if so, should we be doing anything to further evaluate that? Because this is what I believe, guys. I believe God allowed me to get that sick, that an ER visit would be forced upon me because I don't go to doctors. And I can just deal with stuff. And he knew that about me, and if I believe that I went there because there is something that needs to be addressed and managed, and I need to find out what that is, I guess is where I'm at. Because otherwise, I'm okay too, at the same regard, that if God used this moment for Todd and I just to come together and love on each other, that's great. And it was just like a major viral storm that happened to my body. I can accept that. I just want somebody to be able to definitively say that and not this be like this guessing game. And one thing I do know is those liver enzymes at that level can be elevated okay, because the liver can repair itself for like 4 weeks. The thing is I don't know how long those liver enzymes had been at those levels before I went to the ER. So that's kind of really where I'm most, I guess, not concerned. I'm not concerned. It's just where I want more confirmation is a further evaluation of my liver, and do we need to make sure that everything's still good. But guys, I tell you what, it has been a journey. I have been on that, not a journey because I'm not doing nothing. It is everything to just have some desire to get off the couch. I am tired. And it seems like so far, every time I do something like Saturday, I went to my daughter-in-law's baby shower. I didn't have to do anything. I just took the cookies and went, and I sat and rested and enjoyed the day. And then we had the kids over for dinner. So I did get up and help with dinner, and of course played with the grandbabies a very little bit, like coloring and holding my grandson. But I broke out in hives again on my arms Saturday night. And I'm just like, so Sunday, I went to church, and I almost couldn't stand up during the singing. And I was just like, it was just all that effort to get ready and go to church and walk into church, and I was just tired. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I want to feel normal. So some days I wake up like today and I say, we're going to pretend like everything's fine and fake it till we make it. And we're going to do these potatoes, and I'm just going to take my time and sit here. And I thought it would be a good opportunity to play house with you guys. So play with me. Do your best WebMD. Maybe you have a doctor in your family and you can share and get a second opinion virtually for me. I would really appreciate it. And again, we don't want it to be autoimmune. I don't want rheumatoid arthritis. All my autoimmune testing has come back negative. So, what is it? What happened? Thanks, guys, for playing with me. I'm like not even a third of the way through this basket. So I'm going to be doing this sporadically throughout the day. But we're going to get these potatoes canned. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to boil them for 3 minutes just to get some of that starch out, and then we'll get them in the canner. And I will tell you guys, Todd has been a saint. Oh my gosh, that man. It's like his little world stopped with me and taking good care of me and making sure I don't overdo. But I think both of us are getting like antsy now. It's just too much sitting around. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate the prayers, and we'll see you on the next video.